Question 9, just substitution for part A. We're given k is 7 and m minus k is equal to 4. We're asked to work out 9k minus 6m. Well, if k is 7, m minus 7 equals 4. So m is equal to 11. So we have m is equal to 11, k is equal to 7. Substitution, 9 times k minus 6 times m, 63 minus 66 is minus 3. Part B, your 4-term factorization question. You just have to decide which two go together. 14 and 7 look like the easiest ones to get put together, which would leave 8 and 4. So 8ax and 4ay. There's 4a in both of those, which would leave 2x to get 8ax plus y to get 4ay. The second bracket has to be the same, as you know in these questions, because you've practiced so many of them. So 14bx, I would have to have 7b here to get 14bx, and it's minus. And does that give the term we're missing? We have a minus 7by, and you can see it does. So we have 4a and minus 7b, both by 2x plus y. So we bring together the 4a and the minus 7b. We're multiplying both of those by 2x plus y. Part C, your algebraic fraction. Write as a single fraction. What's the rule? Multiply the two terms on the bottom and cross multiply. So it's going to be 2 by 3x plus 5 minus 3 by 2x plus 1. And just simplify. 6x plus 10 minus 6x minus 3, all divided by, you'd get full marks if you multiplied out the brackets, but if you multiply them out you can factorize it. So this is fully simplified, and on top the 6x's cancel. We're just left with 7 over 2x plus 1 by 3x plus 5. D, what are they telling you? 2 decimal places, quadratic formula straight away. That's what you should think. If you haven't got it learnt off by heart, you probably aren't doing higher level maths. So you should have the minus b formula learnt off by heart. If you don't, just look it up. The minus b is the quadratic formula, so just show the examiner what you're doing. Minus 7 can be written like this, or just write plus 7, plus or minus the square root of b squared. You can put it in straight away as 49. That's 7 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is minus 3. And if you've heard me doing these videos before, you're going to say, well, you didn't write down a is equal to 2, b is equal to minus 7, and c is equal to minus 3, which I should have done. All divided by 2a, which is 2 times 2. So I'll give it one more simplification before calculator use. We have 7 plus or minus the square root of 49, and it's 2 minuses are going to give a plus. 4 2s are 8, and 8 3s are 24. So that's going to give 7 plus or minus the square root of 73 over 4. And 2 decimal places. So we just type this into our calculator and write down both our answers, which I'll do now. Double check it. The 7 plus is giving me 3.886. I'll round it in a second, and then go back and change it to a minus, and it's negative 0.386. So correct the 2 decimals, 3.89 and minus 0.39. Question 10, Ali and John took part in a triathlon. In the triathlon, they had to complete a 5k kayak, a 25k cycle, and a 10k run. The diagram below was drawn after both of them had finished the race. It shows how many minutes more than John or less than John it took Ali to travel d kilometers in the triathlon, and D is between 0 and 40. 5 and 25 is 30. 30 and 10 is the total distance, 40. And to give you an example, the point A shows that it took Ali 1 minute more than John to travel the first 10 kilometers. So just match that up there. There's distance 10 kilometers. 1 minute more than John for A. B, it looks like they took the same length of time. And have we any other points? We have something going on here maybe. And here. So, did Ali finish the kayak section ahead of John, behind John, or at the same time as John? And we've got a couple of boxes here. So Ali, you want to double check the question. So the diagram, it shows how many minutes more than John, and you can see here more than John. It took Ali, so it took her more. It took her 2 minutes more to do the kayak than John. I'll just rub all these lines out now. So you can see here, Ali's gone slower over the kayak. So it definitely took her longer. She's definitely going faster over the cycle, you can see. And there's something going on at this point here, which we'll investigate a little bit further. So for the kayak, Ali definitely finished behind John. She had to stop briefly during the triathlon, and it says John did not stop. State what distance Ali had travelled when he stopped. What is Ali? Ali had to stop briefly. John did not stop. State what distance Ali had travelled when he stopped, and for how long he was stopped. Okay, let's have a look. So definitely it looks at this point where something is stopping. There's no movement forward. Let's have a look at how long and the distance. So let's trace her from the beginning. For the kayak, Ali was 2 minutes behind. Then at this point here, point B, they were level. That was at 15k. Then Ali's getting quicker on the cycle, obviously. So at 25 kilometers, Ali got there and is this full distance from here to here in minutes, 2 minutes ahead. And then before any forward movement, at this point is only 30 seconds ahead, half one of the blocks. So there was a stop for 1 minute, 30 seconds. What do we ask for here again? Ali had to stop briefly. State what distance Ali travelled when he stopped, and for how long he was stopped. Well, Ali didn't travel any distance, it doesn't look like, when he was stopped. Along here, I think that's what they mean here. It's a bit confusing. John did not stop. So I would say here, Ali travelled 0 kilometers in 1 minute 30 seconds. Part C, we're asked what was happening John and Ali at the point marked B on the diagram. What was happening to them? Well, they were just level at this point. Were they at the point of intersection? They were crossing each other, or one caught up with the other? Somewhere along those lines, you're going to say, at this point. At 15k, they were level. So I'd say they were level. Travelled 15k at the same time. They could have started at different times. The table below shows the time it took John to complete each of the 3 sections, as well as his total time. So use the diagram, filling the 4 missing times for Ali. Okay, so John took 32 minutes for the kayak, and it took how many more than John? It took Ali 2 more for kayak. So we would say 34. So let's go back to the diagram, see where it's easy to start. We can see with the run, 1 minute ahead, there's no difference here. So the run took them the same length of time, definitely. So 36. And then the total time also, it took Ali 1 minute less, this section here. So if it took Ali 1 minute less, it was 105. So the maths involved here, 34 plus 36 is 70. So this will be 35 in the middle here for the cycle. 105 minus 70 is 35. Then we have John and Ali running a 400 meter race, and John's average speed was 7.8 meters per second. So if you run 400 meters in say 10 seconds, it'd be 40 meters a second. So 7.8 divided by the 7.8, that'll give us the time. Or you could say distance divided by speed. DST, distance divided by speed, is equal to time. So speed is 7.8 meters. Distance, this is giving me on a calculator, 51.28 seconds. The time that he ran. Very fast. It took Ali 2 seconds more. Plus 2 is 53.28 seconds. And work out Ali's average speed. So we have to go backwards now. So we actually have the three variables from up above here saying. So 400 divided by, we don't know the average speed, is going to be 53.28. So 400 divided by 53.28 will be equal to the average speed. Correct one decimal place, it's giving me 7.507, so 7.5 meters per second. Question 11, geometry and slopes. If you're good at your slopes, H has a slope of 4 and passes through the point 2012. I'm going to create a right angle triangle here. So 2012 is the point and the slope is 4. So we have our rise and we have our run, which needs to be an equivalent of 4 over 1. It could be 8 over 2. It could be doubling and doubling. It could be 12 over 3 and so on. So with the ratio of the run being 1 and the rise being 4, the point 21, 16 should be on this line. If we go 2 and 8, 22, 20 looks like it's on the line. If you're not seeing it doing it this way, we could just get the equation of this line using the equation of the line. Let me show that these points are on the line. The slope is 4. And we have the point 2012. So putting this information in, we're going to get y minus 12 is equal to 4 times x minus 20. Y minus 12 is equal to 4x minus 80. 4x minus y, if we bring the y to the right and the 80 to the left, we're going to get plus 80 minus 12, 68. So let's try our points, 21, 16 and 22, 20. If x is 21, 4 21s minus y is 68. So y is equal to 4 21s, 84 minus 68, which is in fact 16. 21, 16. Does 22, 20 work from the equation of the line? 4 by 22. And then we'd have minus y equals 68. 88 minus 20 is 68. 22, 20, that one works as well, you can see. So a couple of different ways to approach this question. To finish this paper, a little bit of geometry. Now, the minute you look at this circle, if we have a diameter of a circle, any angle standing on the diameter, touching off the edge of the circle, is a right angle, half of 180. So this is a right angle triangle, and here's my hypotenuse, where we have two radiuses. We're also told the area of the circle is 25 pi centimeters squared. 25, can't write, 25 pi cm squared. This is equal to pi r squared, the area of the circle. Cancel our pi's and get r squared is equal to 25. So the radius must be 5. So then the hypotenuse must be 10. We have a 5 and a 5, and hopefully you're able to just jot the triangle down like this. The hypotenuse is 10. One of the straight sides is 8. Doesn't matter which one. And if you know your Pythagoras, which you do at this point, 6 squared is 36, 8 squared is 64, 10 squared is 100. So this is the same triangle as your 5, 4, 3. Who knew this would come up? The smallest angle in this triangle is opposite the smallest side. So this one up top here is the smallest angle. So using tan, we can say the tan of A is equal to, it would be up here 6 over 8, if we call that A2, or 3 over 4. And you might see this angle quite a lot. A is equal to 36.869. What do they ask for here? 8698, the smallest angle. We're not asked anything. I think we'll round it off here to 37 degrees. A is 37 degrees, which would leave B as 37, and 53 would be 90. So last tidy little question in the 2022 Junior Cert Maths paper.